years and want to thank you.
Where do you find the time to teach?
I want to thank you from my heart for the gift of you three. I saw The Odd Couple on opening night, and this is longer than my questions. I saw Odd Couple on opening night and found it pure perfection. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Not a question, but a nice review.
Well, only he wrote for the New York Times.
Matthew, had you done any acting in high school?
Me? Yeah.
Yes.
I did a lot. That's where I did a lot of, every play I could in high school. That's where I first started. With my friend Kenny Lonergan. I might have,
Two-time.
might have mentioned before.
Two-time.
Yeah.
Academy Award nominee.
Yeah, we went to
Should've
school
won.
together, and he wrote, and I was in a lot of his things. And what?
Joe was a great actor.
Yeah.
Of course.
People forget Joe
That's
was
right.
a great
Of course,
actor.
Joe.
Did you act in high school?
Did you
Joe
see
was
him in
the-
Angels in America?
No.
Nobody ever outdid him in
Did
that
you
part.
do it in, did you act in high school?
I did do it in high school. I did. My parents are out there tonight somewhere, and
Right, they got in.
they got in, and they would very lovingly drive me to play practice. So I did. Yeah, I did do a lot of theater.
Play practice.
What did you want to be before choosing acting as a profession? Was there any ambition that you wanted to be, or was it always acting?
Drunken billionaire.
May yet.
That was my first choice. And then actor.
My parents told me I wanted to be a fire engine. I said,
A fire engine?
yeah. I said, do you mean a fireman? They said, no, you wanted to be a fire engine.
This question is from Bridgewater, New Jersey. As there is a quote-unquote remake of The Producers in film, they're talking about the musical film, is there any consideration for a new film version of The Odd Couple? And would you be in it?
I don't think so.
I heard there might be. You
There
never
might be.
know. You
Who
never know.
knows? Yes, I don't know. No, no one has said that. No one's brought that up yet, except for him.
How do you keep your repeating art fresh? I guess, how do you keep repeating your roles and your lines day after day? How do you keep them fresh? I think you had you had mentioned in one of your interviews that you're trapped, quote unquote, trapped in a hit. That is that sort of what they're asking here? How do you keep it fresh when the expectations are so high and you've got to go day after day into this?
You know, that's just your job. That's the job. That's what you've hopefully have learned to do, and it's every audience is different, as you've probably heard, and you just I don't know. That's just what your technique is about. You have to try to provide that, and
Do you ever hit a wall 3 months into it and then get behind that?
I find that there are I'll have certain walls at times where I think, oh, this is so stale and I'm so bored. And then something will happen. It can be anything and wake you up and you discover a whole new facet or a new way to do something, and it's very exciting. I kind of like a long run in a way because there are moments of where you feel stale and bored, but there also, you can sort of there's a lot of growth you can do in a long run, which I enjoy.
Joe, do you keep quality control popping in every week or so on the show, or how do you manage that?
Not every week.
yeah,
but
Joe,
yeah.
how's that work? Will you be popping in
I'll
once
be
a
popping
week?
in every week. I drop in occasionally.
This is a question from Tampa, Florida. Do you find that the characters you play have any effect on your personality?
I actually learned to become invisible from watching the movie The Invisible Man. Okay. Can you see me now?
I got that.
Can see me? Okay.
You know, I think it does. Yes, in subtle ways, it does. It can have an effect, depending on what sometimes, emotionally or just, I do find myself,
Does happen.
Do you
it's
take
just
it
in a
home
very
with you?
subtle way.
Can you leave the character at the stage door, or do you take it home with you? Do you find that it bleeds into your
Come
personal
home
life?
with you. I would never like to admit that, but I also think the dynamic between cast members and very often, really often tends to happen. You just happen to have some strange, whether they be good things or bad things about other. The relationships between actors so often mirror what's happening on stage or with the characters. It's weird.
Yeah, because I think you spend 6-8 hours a day trying to reimagine or what it's like to inhabit someone else's skin, and the person next to you is doing the same thing, and you're playing out these kind of very false dynamics. And then once every hour and a half, somebody says, "We're going to take a break now." And you don't just sort of set that down somewhere, and it stays in the room. And after weeks, months of this, in very subtle ways, it does kind of inform the group dynamic. I think. In my experience, that's been true.
Plus, if you're taking things from your own life, which you're supposed to do, and relating this relationship to other relationships I've had, and it just starts to happen.
So when you were in Night Must Fall and carrying around a severed head in a hat box, did you take that character home with you?
No, I didn't. But I had a cat that I did some bad things.
What?
A cat.
What did you do to the cat?
I cut its head off. No, I didn't hurt. No cats were hurt during. No, I didn't.
No. For all cat lovers out there.
I know. I like cats.
Here's a question from the audience. What's your favorite moment in The Producers? Open parentheses, the best show of all time. Exclamation mark.
What's favorite moment?
Yeah, favorite moment in The Producers.
What's your favorite?
My favorite moment was my favorite moment about The Producers was being in Chicago when it first started, and people were discovering it, and this is not a moment in the show. This was just about the camaraderie and the just sort of going from the show and going out afterwards and rehearsing, and just the whole process, and the people of Chicago who were so fabulous, and we were in this huge theater, the Cadillac Palace, a 2,300-seat theater, and I'll tell you, when 2,300 people laugh, and there were a lot of laughs in that show, it was amazing, and it was like a drug, it was just, I never wanted to leave Chicago, because it was, every night, it was just like a rock concert, and it was just the most thrilling. Mel always says that was one of the greatest times of his life, and it's just it's very sentimental when I think about it too, the whole history of the show, and us being there, and we becoming friends, and Mel and Ann and everybody. It was just a great time in our lives, and I'll always remember that. It was cold in Chicago, but the people were incredibly warm and loving, and it was a great way to open a show.